Good morning. Hey, Ray. Tales from the Age of Ben. I wanted to do this for a while, and the issue is I'm trying to get the mod stable, but I'm also continuously adding code to the mod because I'm just a deeply curious person. So I kind of like look at things, or I look at feedback, or I look at videos of people playing playthroughs, and I'm like, I think that we could probably address that. So Um, but as you know, the more things you touch, the more things that you could potentially break. So let me just kind of quickly talk about what we've kind of added to the game in the recent kind of weeks. Um, so Chewy has actually launched a launcher right here. So we're gonna obviously build this out. We're testing it still. It should be pretty good. He's testing it himself, but I also have to test it. But you'll be able to download the launcher. This allows us to do actually quicker updates. So all I have to do is just drop my updates onto the file server, the web server, um, and boom, it's gonna do hash comparisons, and then anything that is different, it will replace. Anything that's the same, it doesn't have to replace. So this, kind of allows us to really get the game out to the community in a better way than using like Google Drive or FileShare or Nexus or ModDB. While useful for various different things, still um, having your own launcher where I don't have to constantly like zip up. It takes about 6 hours to do this. So at the end of the day, it would be pretty cool to just do this. We'll see how well this works. I'm still committed to obviously putting those things out on the other links because I do know that sometimes not this doesn't work for everybody, right? So I'll still put things out on Nexus or ModDB, or if anyone else has issues with the launcher. But kind of reserve this domain. Going to try to use it for various different other things. But Chewy has been working on that. Annian has been working on localization, so trying to help out the translators and stuff like that to make their jobs a little bit easier. It is somewhat annoying, especially with a mod that's being developed with all these things that are changing. It's kind of hard for them to notice what's changed and then fix it and then launch the game, see if everything's in their language, et cetera, et cetera. Another thing is if you ever, I did launch a newsletter. I talked about that a couple times in other dev blogs. If you're interested in what we have done, what we're doing next, that's kind of what we're doing next. But yeah, and it also has like, kind of all the coding things that we've already implemented. Been working on making sure all that is good to go. But anyways, you guys can head over to Patreon, review the newsletter. I'm going to try to continue this, monthly as much as possible. So yeah, Chewy working on this, Annian working on localization, some other AI things. I'm working on various different things. We'll get to that later. Doesn't really matter for this. So, all right. So what's in the modules LOTRAOM module data folder? You got AutoResolve. Spent a lot of time on the AutoResolve. This has potential to really change your game. So just be careful with it because it does all AutoResolves for AI and you. However, if you go in here, you can set this up yourself. However you want. You can do it by culture, you could do it by matchups, you guys could do it by other things like setting the weight. I put troop count should be the highest weight, then troop quality should be after that. Terrain effects, special units. Special units really means it's kind of more of a rock paper scissors. Like archers should be able to take out infantry. Infantry should be able to take out cavalry. Cavalry should be able to take out, kind of archers and have somewhat of a okay time against infantry. A lot of our infantry has pikes and spears. There is no way. Well, there probably is a way. I haven't thought of a way to like go in, look at all the troops, and like, I really want to go in, look at all the troops, look at their weapons that they have equipped, and then like set either like a static dictionary that says, hey, if the party is this, then and they're facing cavalry, then they should have a bonus. I think it's a little bit too much to like kind of do at this point. But anyways, here you go. You guys can start playing around with this. This like is the overall weight that you guys can go in to the other folders and kind of start modifying um, various different cultural bonuses, commander bonuses, etc. Like I do think that commander tactics and leadership should play a role, but I also do believe that we haven't like totally balanced the game out from a commander lord's perspective. Um, so there's other things. I will tell you after messing around with this for quite some time, I will say that I now know why they made the auto resolve so plain. Um, so yeah. Anyways, here's your troop kind of um, bonuses for Rohan. Obviously, they get a little bit better cavalry, a little bit. They should get a little bit worse infantry and archer. They weren't well known for that stuff. I guess they could throw people in. But yeah, so then you guys get kind of other special bonuses here that all kind of factor in. So all these things factor into the auto resolve, etc. Once again, setting it up per culture with whatever you kind of want to do. I would highly recommend that you, if you are going to play with this, do small changes to see how it impacts your game instead of doing large changes. But yeah, so there's AutoResolve in its own little folder. I'm going to try to make folders for all of these so that it's like kind of obvious. Leave the configs alone. They are for AI stuff. Actually, yeah, they're okay. So I'll change this, but so this one is for the dwarf height. So like one person made a comment that the dwarf was set too high. Like if you're playing a dwarf character, the camera is set too high. You guys can go in here and kind of edit that. I'm gonna move this probably out of configs and put it into its own thing. Same thing with this. This is the cave troll. You won't, hopefully, maybe when the cave troll is completely done, you'll be able to play the cave troll. But right now, also for the cave troll, it will also fix those things for you. That was Yothani's code. But the other two things don't touch. That's for AI stuff. But I'm going to move this stuff out of config and put it its own thing. Actually, I don't even think that this is used. I'm going to have to, anyways. Long story short, that's where that is. Okay, so party mechanics. One of the things, so shout out to the community, I seen that like someone talked about was just like, hey man, like when you're in battle, especially like kind of like towards the mid to late game, you're not like losing a lot of troops. Like I watched a battle of like Theoden was like going, it was like 400, he had like 400, and he was facing like Dunland, who had like 500-600 people, and after the battle kind of resolved, like they both kind of walked away with a significant number. Like I think like Theoden brought in like 400 and he walked away with like 3 something and had a whole bunch of wounded, and then like the other person like walked away with a significant amount, and I'm like, that's not realistic. Like if a 300 or 400 army is going against like a 500-600 army, there's going to be a lot of casualties. So what did I do? Of course, I looked at the vanilla. Vanilla basically has like an equation that basically means like 70 to 80% survive the battle, and there's only like 20% death. And you guys can come in here and read through this. I did make it so that heroes do not die, because I did change this, and then I seen because I put like Mordor is a little like they show no mercy, they execute the wounded, so they're not going to have a lot of they're going to have way more casualties, excuse me, because of the fact that they kind of execute people. But then they started to like literally kill every single lord, companion, and hero like after they won. So Rohan got rolled up. Like the game was basically over within like 2 hours. It was crazy. So I was just like, well, maybe we shouldn't, because heroes obviously play a large role into obviously creating armies, and also you're recruiting troops. Without heroes, you don't have a game. So I did change that. You guys can change it to however you want. But anyways, vanilla once again was like a 60 to 80% survival rate, 20 to 40% death, more towards the 80%, especially with medicine. perk, um, and I reduced it down so that you kind of have like a 50 to 60% deaths. And you guys can play around with this and have fun. Caesar Salt should be, in my opinion, more deadly. Um, Probably one of the deadliest. People are fighting for their homes. So, anyways, I just didn't think that like, you should be able to just, kind of roll throughout the mid and late game with no kind of regard to the casualty stuff. So, I'll be interested in seeing that. Distance config. So Yathani built if you stay on the map for if you just stay still for a extended amount of time, you have the option to create either a lookout or a ambush position, and this is going to set that for that. So also sets the max bandits search radius for bandits to search for hostile parties. For various different things. So bandits engage from a further distance, and then it also sets your kind of spotting range and max ambush range. So we have it at 4 right now. So like you could kind of like set up, during a main trail. Like I seen someone else. Like setting up near the Minas Morgul, and waiting for like a Nazgul to come through, and they ambushed them. You do have specific bonuses and penalties to doing that. Um, so yeah, there's that also mechanic into the game that's in party mechanics. I might, kind of redo that. But what did I do this really for? Okay, so let me just run through here before I get to that. There is a damage display XML. I'm going to have to go really look at this, but what it was supposed to do was supposed to set colors in your damage display. So if you're a Gundar, you would see this. If you're Rohan, you would see, four screen. Not working as I thought it was going to work, so I'm going to have to kind of change this and make sure that I fully understand how damage is displayed in the game. And then come back and fix that stuff. So that's there. Garrison patrol config. I have it set to one party. Anyways, there's a default config in here. You guys can change it through here. Anything else that I need to kind of address? So I'm just going through here. People ask me about the party templates. Here they are. I'm going to have to delete one because one's old. Anything else? So party templates really set how the parties spawn. Okay, there it is, troop weights. So the biggest thing that people ask me is about troop weights. Here's where the troop weights are set. You guys can change it to your heart's desire. And add troops or subtract troops. Like some people suggested adding dwarves. I will at some point add dwarves. But yeah, so I added elves because the elves start, especially Mirkwood elves, they start at like level 36 or something like that. And then these guys start like significantly higher than other races, and they go all the way up to 51. So level 51. So I think they think that it's warranted not to just but I give everyone the option to do whatever they want to do, right? So that's like my whole thing that I tell everyone is at the end of the day, you need to give as much options to the player as possible, not take them away. All right, so there's a lot of things that people want to do that I say no to because it's just like, hey, like you're limiting the player to playing how you want to play the game. I get there's lower accuracy, but some people don't want to play like that. Some people don't want to play like, oh, I'm only going to wear evil or good armor depending on what I am, or et cetera, et cetera. So I try to give that option to the players to decide how to set up their game the way that they want to play. Perks. Let's talk about perks. Absolutely fucking annoying. I wanted to always mess with the perk system and make it so that you actually have to make critical decisions. Like each perk should be critical to your gameplay. And I think that is not in the vanilla. Like there are clear better perks to pick in vanilla. I kind of want to change that. Now, what I've started to do, because it is going to be, it took me about a day to run through this perk system and understand it in its entirety. of how it's doing it in vanilla, and then like how do I want to change it. But this has to be like this. This is gonna be like a project plan, to be truthfully honest with you, of how to edit this and make it right. And I'm not there yet. All I did right now is I added race perk modifiers. So, for example, for all the one-handed, kind of perks, you guys can see that. So every perk in the game is in here, and I've added all the races to it. Now, here's the issue. It's not really an issue. I'm trying to think about how to solve it. I don't think I can solve it. So races are applied after the character creation. Perks are initialized before the character creation. So like all the tooltips, all that stuff is already settled before you get to the character creation screen. So the game doesn't really know what race you are when it initializes the perks. If I'm saying, if everyone's kind of understanding that, so they initialize the perks when as soon as you hit the enter, the age of the ring or age of men, it initializes the perks. Boom, boom, done. Before you even get to the screen, that's all that loading stuff that's happening before you even get to the screen of the characters, and so it doesn't know what character you are. So that was some fuckery that I had to figure out, and this is the way I kind of did it. So maybe there's a better way. Someone could pop up and say, hey, there's actually a better way. I've been trying to look at other people's code to see how they did it. I don't think actually anyone has really edited perks. They've always added perks or skills to the game, but I haven't seen anyone kind of edit what's already in the game. So that's pretty interesting. But this is how it works. Every single, I think there's like 200 and plus perks in the game has set up by race. So I will continue to play with this, but I did make some generic guidelines, but that can be found once again in the perks section. I would suggest that you read the README right here, so that you guys can do that. So what does that look like? So if you hover, I'm a dwarf. I can't show you, but I'm a dwarf, right? And I'm two-handed right now. I'm in the two-handed tree. So if I hover over this, it's going to look like native stuff, right? So those are native personal. It's called primary and secondary. Primary and secondary stuff. I forget what the hell it's perk something. I forget what the actual fucking thing's called, but it's primary secondary, right? So but if I click on it, you can see now it's changed for my race. I'm trying to do a little bit more, but once again, I can edit this because this is initialized, or I can basically patch this call all the time. It doesn't like it's called every single time you come in here and you click on something, right? However, if I hover over, what you see right here is initialized once again, like I told you, before the character creation. So this is all initialized before. I can't touch that because it doesn't. I don't know what race you're going to be. So I think that's gonna how it has to be until someone comes and shows me a different way, or I could think of a different way of changing that. Because once again, once this is initialized, it doesn't do it again, right? I can't like, well, maybe I can have it reinitialize. I'll think about that. Maybe I can like it will initialize. You pick your character, and then it will reinitialize when you load onto the map. It'll be interesting to see how that works. Okay, but anyways, you guys can see. You click at it. Dwarves have a, I think 30% bonus, so you can see that it has been increased. So pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. But then what I'm going to start working on is making it so that you have a significant decision to make between these two, right? So yeah, that's the next goal that I have. However, that's probably going to be put on the back burner for a little bit later, because I do have a lot of things that people want me to implement. I'm trying to get the battle stuff happening. So if you come on over here to the Black Gate, I'm right now working on the battle map. So there is a. I'm going to scroll out here. Actually, shout out to Timber. Let me going off of coding. Well, it's sort of coding, but kind of off of coding right now. I'm just going to bring up my Discord real quick. I kind of want to end this because I do have to go to work. So quickly. Um, Shout out to Timber. Timber has did this where he created our battle map. One thing I will say is shame on the fucking community. Shame on the community. Really, there are people that have done this that bogart their fucking knowledge and don't show people how to do this, or don't update guides, or don't do things so like other people have to struggle. And that's one of the things that I want to fucking change in this community, but it's so fucking hard because like I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just like there are some people that are willing to help, and there's some people who are just like, "Fuck you, figure it out yourself." I had to figure it out myself, and you had to figure it out yourself, which is weird because you didn't figure out yourself. You had a community that helped, but it is what it is. So like I reached out to a whole bunch of people and basically was told, get lol, get pounded, go get fucked, pound some sand, right? So it's just like absolutely annoying. But I promise to you, if I figure this out, I'm going to fucking tell the world about it because I think that's significant. Like, why bogart knowledge for a fucking game that's 13 years old? It's fucking dumb as fuck. But anyways, shout out to Timber for looking at this and understanding how to do it. Shout out to Tor for the code because there are some things that you have to do from a coding side to not load their. So what happens is that this battle map gets imported into your map module or wherever you want to import it into with a specific name that's going to overwrite the native name, right? So this is now using, and it doesn't look like this, but Timber did this as a reference. So all of these are map indices. So let me show you that. So there's a file. So anyways, I can go down rabbit holes, but this gets loaded into the game, imported into the editor in a specific name, in a specific way. You guys can see the red green. It's really red, but anyways, and then he's labeled it for us. What we'll go into this process a little bit later, right? But like there's a set color, red 1, red 2, red all the way up to red 255, and that is what it corresponds to. So he started with red 1, red 2, red 3, 4, 5, 6, and then he went up wherever the hell 255 is. I'm not going to find it, but or you don't have to go up to 255, and you could use whatever numbers you want. But this is how the game recognizes your battle maps to deploy. Now, where are the battle maps? So if I'm sitting here outside the Black Gate, I want to fight with the Black Gate somewhere close nearby, right? So if you come over here to the module data, you'll see SP, if I can spell, SP battle scenes. So here's how native sets it up. You see these map indices. This is exactly what I'm talking about. That's what the numbers are there for. Shout out to whoever did the Bannerlord modding page website that pretty much everyone goes to go see that. It really kind of like explains this, but like doesn't give you all of the keys to the kingdom to get it into your game and stuff like that. But I'm working through that so that like when I basically have to redo all this. So we have a scene right here, the Dead Marshes, that when you go to these indices, this is what you should probably play. And then there's other things that you have to do, right? So all your scenes have to be like this, and then you have to also add code in to make sure. So what happens is when it loads in the game, it's going to load your battle map. I'm just going to call it a battle map, but that red-green kind of thing, it's really red, but whatever. It's going to load that. Then what's going to happen is it's going to go and pull all of your SP underscore battle underscore scenes .xmls from all your modules. You do not want that to happen, so then you tell it to don't do that and only point it to the one that you actually want it to load, because it will load native, it will load whatever other modules have this in there, and it will get fucked up. So the short of that is this is what I'm working on next. I'm working on the launcher to make sure that that is kind of working good. I have like 50,000 other things that people want me to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to kind of quickly kind of lay out the land again so that people understand. I'm pretty much the only one that imports things into the game, right? So like If it's like assets, if it's whatever, I import it into the game. I get it right because I control the asset sources, right? You don't want to give out your asset sources to lolly everybody. I did that once before, and it didn't really work out. So I kind of talked about that previously. I don't foresee myself doing that again. But here, this is I import everything into the game myself. I test everything myself. I do have a lot of testers that are amazing, and they send out things that I need to fix. Guess who has to fix them? Me, or Swan, or whoever currently has that module. Like if it's the map module Swan, I'll tell Swan, hey, while you have it, do this. But typically, it's me that's fixing it, right? It's me that's implementing things. So when you give me voices, it's me that's implementing it, right? XML updates. Very rarely do I allow people to touch XMLs. For if you touch an XML and make a mistake, I have to then go use my resources to figure out what you did wrong. So I typically do all the XMLs. I will show you a process later on. I told you guys about Claude Code. I think it's absolutely wildly powerful right now. So if you have, I'm not going to go into it because I have to go. But anyways, Claude Code does a lot for you. Takes a lot to set up, takes a lot of investment to set up. And when I mean investment, I mean your time. From a money perspective, it's not that, it's like whatever your Claude, I think it's like 20, 30 bucks a month. It's not that bad, but for the power of it, it's absolutely crazy. So like in the future, I will become faster at XML stuff. I will become faster at importing stuff just because I have Claude Code do it for me. And it will do it faster than I can do it, right? So, yeah, with that being said, I am pretty much the only one that has control of this thing. Why? People ask me, Haterade, why do you do this way? Because if I don't know where everything is, if something happens, or like I can quickly identify, like if someone comes up with a hey, there's an issue, I can quickly identify where that issue is, why it's an issue, and then either I task someone out to fix it or I fix it myself. If I didn't do this, if I was just like some project manager up at the top with like no kind of clue where everything is or what's happening, I would just be delegating this shit down to other people, and like I wouldn't know how to speak to people. I wouldn't know like what the actual problem is. I think that is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Like, no offense to project managers out there, like it's just like they're wonderful people, but I'm like, you don't know the ins and outs. Like, kind of, I spend more time talking and explaining things to people, to project managers than it's really worth. It's just like, good lord, like if all you're going to do is just kind of make sure that we hit deadlines and identify risk and brief risk up to the leadership, then I could fucking do that myself. Let's just cut out the middleman. But that's why I do things the way it is. That's why I want to go into seeding. That's why I want to do animations. That's why I want a little bit of 3D. I know enough 3D to do what I need to do. But that's why I don't allow a lot of people to come in and touch things or change things, is because I know I will find myself spending more time fixing their issues than not. Now there are some caveats to that. There are some wonderful, amazing people like Legolas, Yathani, Anian, Bennett, who come in and they're like, I've done all. I'm just gonna call you Commander. I think his name's like G Nor Fost or whatever his name is, who did all of the Umbar kind of changes. Like literally just hands you, like did all the changes and hands it back to you. That's what I was like. That's shout out to you guys. Hats off to you, because that is crazy that you guys kind of did that and kind of hand it back to the community. So at that point, I'll implement it. But even then, I do have to kind of fix some things here and there. But that's the whole point of this. So anyways, my daughter just got up, so I have to go. Haterade, Tales from the Age of Men, coding, perks in the game, working on other things, trying to show you where they are so that you guys can edit it and have fun yourself, and see. I'm a type of guy, like, I like to fuck around and find out. I like to ooh, what does this change do, and how does it impact the game? It's kind of addicting to me to see like that stuff. So, but I try to also always give that power to the player, so that they can not have to go and play the game how I want to play the game. But with that being said, Henry, Charles from Benjamin, God bless.